answer is I did forget, so I'll have to grab that before we start laying down the markers. I think I'm at like 50% right now on which days I actually remember. And we'll have just a little shading in here. Probably a little bit right there. This is where he's starting to look pretty cute. And he's got his beard, and we'll do a little shading on that too. Something like that. It's always a struggle trying to keep the pencil sharp. So if you're joining us today, if you're lurking, go ahead and jump on the chat and let me know how you're doing today, what some of your favorite characters are, and if you want to talk about the techniques that I'm using or the tools that I'm using, just hop on and I will answer your questions. In the meantime, though, keep working on his fur here. This is the type of thing I like to draw, these sort of like just fluid, organic lines like this. Definitely more in my comfort zone than like rigid straight lines. And one of the things I always liked about this character is his hands. They're so expressive. Hi, Squishbuck. Good to see you on there today. Starting out with the little Rafiki from The Lion King. Have to let me know what your favorite, or some of your favorite Lion King characters are. And let me know how this time of day works for you. This is about an hour earlier than I've been broadcasting. I'm just trying to figure out what time works good for people. It seems like the later I start, maybe the bigger the crowd is, but starting a little early today. All right, so this will be a good warm up. Just get in here and have fun with Rafiki. Just let these lines flow. Yeah, it's not looking too bad. If we can scooch this camera just a little bit. There we go. Might help if you can see more of the drawing. I hope everyone had a good holiday weekend. Hop on the chat and let me know what you did and how you did it. If you were virtual or if you got a small gathering together. Hopefully everyone's being safe. All right, so we've got him roughed in there. So now we can take our brush pen and just start doing some outlining. All day long works. Yeah, I'm with you on Pumbaa. I was just saying that Christy's favorites were always Pumbaa and Timon, and I really like those guys. They're so funny. Definitely a couple of my favorites as well. So because these guys are cartoons, probably go pretty thick on this outline, but then some of the cell shading we won't ink. But once we get in with the marker, that'll make a little bit more sense. Yes, I forgot my spare sheet. We'll have to grab that before we throw down any markers. Yeah, I love Pumbaa and Timon. Those guys are so funny, and the voice acting was so good, and their songs were so good. It's kind of hard to beat them. Well, I hope everybody is staying home and staying safe, and thanks for joining me today. Always fun to be able to draw with you. And it's interesting to see the different characters that people want to see drawn, so that's part of the fun for me too. All right. See if we can get these curves looking nice. Always tricky. There we go. Fun but tricky. That's for sure. Well, for those of you that were on Friday afternoon with me, I guess Friday evening in some places, Star Wars artist Joe Caroni and Star Wars artist Ashley Brinzo were on here with me, and are on the chat at least. And I know Joe's talking about starting his own channel later in the month, so that'll be something to look forward to. I think we're all trying to do what we can to stay busy during this time. And if we're going to be drawing anyway, why not spend some time with you guys? It's more fun, that's for sure. All right, starting to look a little bit like Rafiki now. So let's draw in these lines. But I think we'll leave these nose lines in pencil, and then we'll just use the marker to kind of shade some of that in, and that'll look cool. And the same thing here. And I just love the hands. They're so expressive. You know, I think as artists, we're always struggling with hands and feet and facial expressions, and whoever the lead animator was on Rafiki just did such a good job, or the character designer, whichever one, of making the hands so expressive. And so it's kind of fun to get to draw someone else's design when it's such a good design. You know, sometimes, even if it's a character you love, the design can be complicated or a challenge, and this character is just fun to watch on screen and fun to draw, so it's a win-win. And like I said, this will be our warm-up today, and then we've got a Star Wars Jedi character coming up, but it's probably not who you think. So it'll be a good surprise. Now, I didn't do it in blue line, but I think his staff goes on past the gourd and things on there, so we can just indicate that a little bit. I seem to remember that. We can just do some heavier shadow down here at the base, I think. Something like that. So a little rough, but we're getting started. And we can really be careful of all that black in there. I gotta grab that extra sheet before I make a mess. Here we go. I think every time I live stream, I clean up and I put this away, and then when I start, I always forget to get it out. Well, at least half the time I forget. That'll keep me from dragging my hand through that. All right, much better. All right, so with the outline done, take some markers and start to do some fill-in work here. Let's see, there's not too much solid black here, but I've got a few pieces, I think, or maybe just one, maybe just the eyes and the nose. So we can fill those areas in. The eyes and the nose. So just using the Prismacolor Premier Black. What I've been doing, so many people have been asking about the art tools, is after the live broadcast, when these get put back up on Twitch as individual videos for each drawing, I'm adding the art tools in the description. So if you ever, ask me in the chat if you want to know, but if you're watching later and not live, then just look down in the description and should be a list of the tools that I'm using there. And I'll update those for each video depending on what we do. But for this one, we're using the Prismacolor Premier. And we'll just use the black on the nose and the eyes. I don't know if there's anywhere else we'll want the black. Maybe the staff over here, we'll see about that. We'll see how that goes. All right. So let's try maybe, I'm thinking like, for the face, maybe a 20 or a 30% as the base. Let's see what that looks like. Maybe. Yeah, I think that should work. So we'll try that. These caps are so tough to get off sometimes. So I'm thinking just maybe like indicate a little bit of fur on top here. And then got the eyebrows. Something like that. And then we can get down into the face a little bit. Thinking we'll do the 30 on the kind of the light side of the face, then add a darker value, like maybe a 50% gray for the shadow. And that should work out pretty well. The same thing on his cheeks. How fun is this? All right. And can't forget the ears. And then we'll do the same tone on the arms. not super worried about touching the black lines with the gray marker. I mean, the more the black dries, the less we have to worry about. But if I do, I'll try to drag into the black instead of like through the black or out of the black. So that'll minimize the smearing or the chances of smearing. And another good way to do it is sometimes I'll just pencil and do the marker and then put the black line on last. It just depends on the project and what the character is. So here I'm using this warm 30% gray as sort of like the base value for him. So it should end up working out pretty well, I think. I don't know about you guys, but man, the weekend just kind of flew by for me. I've been working on a few projects, lots of sketches and some Star Wars art and a few other things. I've got some cool stuff coming up with a museum that I've been working on, and it's just, the time just flew by. I don't even know what happened. Yeah, I guess we can do his, trying to decide if we do his hands the same value or not, but I guess it makes sense to do that. Otherwise it might look silly. Yeah, let me know if the days are flying by for you or dragging. I know some people I talk to say they're bored with nothing to do, and other people I talk to are like myself. They're doing everything they can to stay busy or keep themselves busy. Oh, thank you, Decidius. Good to see you on here. Hope you and your daughter are well. I don't know if you guys celebrate any of the holidays or the weekend or not, but if so, I hope you had a good one. All right, so that was the 30% warm gray. And I think if we jump up to the 50, that'll give us some good contrast for the shadow area. Always hated drawing fingers. You know, I was talking about that right before you got on, and these hands are so well drawn and so expressive. Not my version, but in the Lion King, that it's just a joy to draw this design because the hands are so well done. Like you said, fingers can be, I mean, anatomically it all makes sense, but to get things to the expressions and the acting with the hands is still a challenge. Or things like gripping pistols. I feel like, especially with Star Wars, I'm forever drawing people holding onto blasters and things, and to get it to look nice, like they're really holding something that has weight and heft to it, can be a challenge. Now I'm liking this contrast. This will work good. He's got like a dark patch on his chest and his belly here, so you can go a little darker on that too. Hey, Decidius, you have to remind me, is your sketch the Ahsoka the White? Yes, okay. Not today, but I think she'll be coming up soon. So just so you know, I've got we're gonna do a Jedi Master today, and I did the other Ahsoka last week, so I'll probably get to yours this week for sure. Or I hope so. Trying to finish up some Star Wars Celebration art, which has been a little bit of a challenge because, you know, we don't really even know if it's going to happen yet or be delayed or anything. So it makes it a little bit more challenging to get focused on that stuff, you know. I keep seeing news stories that say that like San Diego Comic-Con might get postponed, which wouldn't surprise me, but if they're going to do it, I'd rather them just do it and make the announcement so they're not wondering anymore. Because I know I was supposed to go to Phoenix Fan Fusion, and that's been canceled or postponed. So I kind of feel like, I don't know if we'll see things happen in the fall, or I think Denver moved their show to like November. So anything's possible right now. One day at a time is all we can do. You know what I'm saying? All right, so that was 50% gray. I'm thinking we can go, oh, I need some shadow underneath his beard still. Just let this fur throw a little bit of shadow onto here, and that'll look pretty nice. This is kind of a fun character draw. I've never drawn any of the Lion King characters before, but this is actually a lot of fun. And then the face. Thinking maybe do a little shadow from the nose. Something like this. Really, you know, try to keep it simple like the cartoon. But hey, Cartoon Rick, so good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for jumping on the chat. So we've got Squishbuck and Decidius and Cartoon Rick on here. Hey, Cartoon Rick. First of all, let us know what your favorite Lion King character is, and then if you celebrated a holiday over the weekend, let us know what you guys did. If you did it virtually because you're social distancing, if you had only the people who live in your house, how'd you celebrate? And thanks for joining us. This hopefully will be more fun than what you would be doing at work anyway. So, and maybe even give you inspiration to start your own channel here, because you are definitely talented enough to do it. And I'm living proof that all it takes is a phone camera and a little bit of determination. No fancy setup here. I don't think I'm pretty enough to be a cam boy. Otherwise I'd be like, you guys can go on my Amazon list and buy me gear. And no, I don't have an Amazon wish list and there's no gear on there. It was a joke. Just in case anyone thought I was serious. All right. So just a little bit more shading in the hair. Maybe a little shadow from that ear. Yeah, it's starting to look like something. Maybe go a little darker on the nose. So this is 50, so let's jump up to 60, and we might have to go 70, but we'll see how it looks. expression right there. Oh, that was nice, Decidius. I'm glad that she recognized him. It tells me I'm at least doing a passable job. So I think we just need to do some shading on the staff and the gourd, and then we'll be in pretty good shape here. Let's go really dark on the shadow over here. Try to cover up where I put my hand in it earlier. So as soon as this one's done, we're going to jump onto a Jedi drawing, and it's a little bit more, it's a little complicated. So this will serve as a good warm-up before we get to that. Maybe we'll do a little extra shadow over here too. Just give that some weight. Hey, if the 5-year-old likes it, then I know it's a win. I mean, that's kind of my whole life, is trying to impress 5-year-olds, you know what I'm saying? Okay, so let's go back to 60. One lighter. 50. Give this some extra love. Maybe just a little bit of like a super light value, like a 20, just to finish that gourd off at the top, so it'll pop off the white paper a little bit. Yeah, there we go. All right, so Rafiki from The Lion King as our warm-up sketch today. I think he turned out pretty good. It's fun. Cell service is preventing smooth streaming. Okay, well, thanks for joining us for a little while, Rick. And, oh, we just need a signature. I think we'll do this one a little different today. There we go. All right, so there's our warm-up drawing. Rafiki from The Lion King. And now we can move on to a character from Star Wars. It's a Jedi Master, but it's probably not who you might be thinking. today we have for your viewing pleasure Plo Koon, as seen in the prequels, and probably on the Clone Wars too. Complicated character. You know, one of the coolest things about Star Wars are all the creatures, and the other cool thing, or one of the other cool things, is the Jedi. So having them both combined is really, really going to be fun. But he's a little complicated. So you can see I spent a lot of extra time on my blue line drawing, hopefully to help avoid some easy mistakes, because he's got so many folds and wrinkles and everything on him that would be really easy to mess up. Oh, you knew it, did you, Decidius? Okay. You say you knew it. But it'll be a tricky one. So we'll just take our time and try to keep the pencil sharp and just make him look as cool as we can. Your favorite Jedi in the Clone Wars. Well, that's good. I actually thought about doing